Welcome back to 6 Sports Saturday. I'm Fallon Smith. We're going to take a break from football and talk Tennessee basketball. I'm now joined with second-year head coach Cuonzo Martin. And Coach, I didn't go to media day, but I did see the press conference, and you kind of made a little joke before it started, took out your phone, and were pretending you were going to take a picture of the media and tweet it. Now, we got a kick out of that because that's a side of Coach Martin we don't usually see. Does that mean you're getting a little more comfortable with the media, or just comfortable maybe in your role?
No, I just wanted to play a joke, really. It was nothing major, but appreciate what the guys do and what you all do. 'Cause I know it's a tough job, and sometimes you have to write and say things in doing your job. But I just want to make a little fun out of it.
I mean, we don't get to see that side of you, but off camera, you know, you like to joke around, and we were just smiling before this, not to put you on blast, but camera comes on and it's serious, Coach Martin.
No, I just think that's who I am. I don't really have much to hide. I am what I am, and then when it's funny, I'll laugh. When it's business time, it's business time.
You know, 4 returning starters, you're returning over 80% of your scoring production, so clearly there's high expectations for this basketball team. Where do you set the bar? Where do you tell your guys, hey, this is what I expect, this is where the bar is, this is where we're going?
Well, I think for us, one day at a time, play as hard as you can play for each other, and have a passion for what you do. I mean, in a nutshell, that's what we talk about. The games will take care of itself. And there are certain goals we set as a team, and we keep those things within house. But for the most part, you have to play as hard as you can play, have a passion for your teammates, and have a love for what you're doing.
Who's battling to replace Cam Tatum in that starting lineup?
Right now, I would say Josh Richardson and DeMontre Edwards. Both of those guys are playing really hard, playing really well, and competing more than anything, because I think that's the way you get better. You raise the level of expectations amongst each other with how hard you compete, and I think they're doing a great job right now.
All right, for Vols fans, Jarnell Stokes was the quote-unquote savior, I guess in their eyes, the savior of, you know, the basketball season last year. How could a high school kid, I know he was a 5-star recruit, but how can a high school kid make such an impact on not even just the court, but mentally with the guys, you know, morale and the guys' spirits, and even the fan base, their spirits?
Well, I thought the biggest adjustment Jarnell made, in my opinion, was adjusting to his team, adjusting to the environment and the culture of being in Knoxville, and also the campus life. And that's a major adjustment, a huge step for a young guy who hadn't even turned 17 before he got here. To leave high school, didn't go to senior prom. A lot of things he missed from a high school standpoint. Just really getting away from his mom and dad's a tough thing to do. But he made that adjustment. So I think he did a really good job of really trying to fit in more than anything. He didn't want to come in and stand out unless his play allowed that. He wanted to come in and fit in with his teammates. And I thought he did a great job of adjusting.
Obviously, he hit the ground running, but still was maybe behind the 8 ball as far as the pace of college basketball. Now with the off season and all these workouts, where have you seen his growth and his development just over the summer, and where he's at right now?
Well, I think really his explosiveness on the floor, his athleticism as far as his lateral quickness, and I think he had all those things initially, but I don't think his conditioning was at the level when he came in from high school, because he wasn't playing any basketball. He's probably 5 or 6 months removed from playing a basketball game. So I think now with him being in a program, in the weight room, playing at the level we need to play, also going through the workouts that he missed probably 5 months of doing, he's had a chance to make the adjustments, and he's doing really well. His body's looking good. I think he's 8% body fat at 265, 270. So he's going to be a load to stop.
Well, not only him, but everyone's talking about, Maimon and him are one of the best front court duos in the country, and maybe even the best in the SEC. What is your assessment on that? And I'm sure you want to believe, we got the best front court duo here.
Well, I think first and foremost, they're two of the best forwards in the country, regardless of what league they're in. Those guys can stack up against anybody in America. That's hands down in my opinion. But as far as how well they play and how well they compete, it's one game at a time. And those guys have to have a level of mental focus more than anything, because the physical part is there. But the mental part is from the expectations on the surface, not necessarily as a staff. We expect those guys to play hard and compete, but on the surface, what people say about them, what they perceive about them, what the people expect about them. I think if those guys can curtail those expectations, just really lock in on what we're trying to do as a team, then they'll be fine. All
right, we're going to go to the backcourt. Sergeant of your offense, obviously, point guard Trae Golden. Last year, he got a lot of criticism from a lot of people saying he ain't a true point guard, he looks to score first, but you always stood by him. You always had his back, regardless. You have a lot of confidence in that kid. Obviously, he led the team in scoring last year. What do you feel about people saying he's not a true point guard, and do you feel he's a true point guard?
Well, I think first and foremost, you have to be a good basketball player first. You can be a true point guard and you can't play at this level. Trae's a really talented guard. He's a scoring guard. He's very similar to Darren Williams, Russell Westbrook. You got so many guys in the NBA that are point guards, but they scored. I think the traditional days of a point guard just come down and pass the ball and run a team. I don't know if you see that many guys anymore, because I don't think young guys want that identity anymore. But you still have them, and they're very talented. But I think he's the guy that scores the basketball. He's a combo guard. He scored a lot in high school. I don't want to take his scoring away from him. I want him to score a lot of points. I want him to shoot a lot of balls, but also want him to run the team and be a tremendous leader. And I think he's really gotten better in his leadership skills and also running a team. But really, my job as a coach to put him in position. There were certain times I didn't put him in the best situations to be successful defensively, because he was scoring a lot of points, playing a lot of minutes. Late in games, he's exhausted. I had to put a lot of ownership on me as a coach, not put him in position all the time to be successful.
All right, moving on to Skylar McBee, the Tennessee kid. We already wore out all the facial hair talk, so we're not going to talk about that. What we will talk about is last year. I remember you saying during a press conference, he's a shooter. The rest of these guys are ball players. And it got maybe misconstrued in a way. I think people took it the wrong way. But I think it made Skylar, because he caught wind of it, it made Skylar think, well, coach doesn't think I can play D, or I can't do anything else, can't penetrate, I can just shoot. And he made it a point to prove that wrong towards the end of the season, down that final stretch. He stepped up a lot for you guys.
You know, Reggie Miller, Ray Allen, those guys are shooters and made a lot of money shooting the ball. And I think the most important thing for Skylar to understand, all you have to do is please me. And that's the best thing. He does a really good job of doing what he does. And however it was perceived, somebody took it, I mean, that's not really my concern. My concern is putting him in a position to be the best he can be as a basketball player. He's a guy that can shoot the ball. He's a really good defender, one of our better defenders, but we need him to make shots. If he's making shots, we'll be fine.
All right, switching it up a little bit, social media, you're an avid Twitter guy. A lot of people follow you, obviously, because it's a lot of positive stuff. But as far as the players go, do you monitor that, or do the guys just know? Like, we can't say anything dumb or, get us in trouble because Cuonzo's going to get on us.
We monitor it. I follow every guy on our team. I follow him on Twitter. Our staff follows him. Tom follows him. So everybody on the staff follows our guys. But it's not a case of me following them, trying to get in their business, because they're young men. You have to allow them to live life and kind of find their way through life and navigate through situations. I mean, you don't want to have your foot on their throat in everything they do, because they can't grow. And I'm not a guy that says shut down the Twitter, because if you continue to shut everything down, then how do they grow? So my thing, I explain situations. I allow them to see other situations where somebody tweeted something that probably wasn't a positive thing to tweet. Now, we talk about it, but it's not a case where I want to shut a guy down from Twitter, because I don't want to take that away from the other guys on the team, and I don't think it's right.
Definitely think before you press send. That's what we all say.
We talk about it all the time, and the one thing about when I tweet something, I look at it probably, I might have it ready to send, I might not send it for half an hour later, just to make sure everything is around and the wording is right, the pictures are right, whatever the case. So I'll let other people look. Rarely do I send a tweet without somebody else looking at it.
Wow, really?
Yes.
All right, well, last thing, Coach. Would this season be a disappointment if you guys do not make a run at the NCAA tournament?
I think so. I think so, because you have the pieces. With that being said, as long as we're healthy, I think if we're healthy, then we should do that. I really do. But I mean, once again, injuries play a factor in what you're doing. You can't lose key guys. I don't care what program you are. When you lose multiple key guys, it can be tough for you. But I think if we're healthy, we're fighting for that.
Well, Coach, thank you so much. We look forward to, the start of the basketball season. I think everybody is, and exciting to see what the Vols can do this year.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, second-year head coach Cuonzo, and I'm Fallon Smith. We'll be right back with more 6 Sports Saturday after the break.